Between April and July this year, 4,390 cattle and 758,263 sheep were slaughtered without the merciful anesthetic of being stunned first. And, according to Food Standards Agency figures collected for the first time, so were 45 million birds. Animal lovers will be outraged. But ministers explain, the government would prefer all animals to be stunned but respects the rights of Jewish and Muslim communities to eat meat prepared in accordance with their beliefs. If the law says, as it should, that animals ought to be spared unnecessary suffering when killed for our dinner plates, then it should apply to all. It's these exceptions made for religious belief which most infuriates me about religion. I'm no atheist and I feel the same about Christianity. It was scandalous the Church of England could deny women equality in the workplace until as recently as 2015 when the first woman bishop was consecrated. Archbishop of Canterbury Justin Welby might have quit had she not been. But there are many Anglicans who still object to women officiating in church on the grounds the 12 apostles were men. Yet it was women who bankrolled Jesus' ministry, and Mary Magdalene is the real star of the Gospels, not the dim-witted and cowardly male disciples. While they made themselves scarce when the going got rough, Mary was at the crucifixion, and was first to discover the resurrection. The Anglican Church still struggles with LGBT people, and won't allow same-sex weddings in church. I call that unchristian. It's not as if Jesus ever concerned himself with sexual preference. There are 3,000 mentions of alleviating poverty in the Bible, but not one about same-sex marriage. Church leaders complain policymakers won't listen to them. That's because the C of E marches 20 years behind those it serves. And in a modern democracy, laws passed by Parliament should be for everyone, which is why motorcycling Sikhs should wear crash helmets. I'm off for Christmas now. Labour's Laura Pidcock and the Greens' Caroline Lucas will entertain you in my absence. On Christmas Day you'll find me in a church. If one will let me in after this. Tory MP Chris Heaton-Harris Christmas quiz question: what country lies between Romania and Ukraine? Clue: it has to be Moldova. Constitution Minister Chris Skidmore said something odd. To be fair, he frequently says peculiar things, but this was odder than most. He said he was tackling barriers to transgender people participating in our democracy. In 2017 no one should be barred from voting. And that, to my mind, includes prisoners. The Cabinet Office explained the barriers. A transgender voter might be James on the electoral register and encounter difficulties at a polling station if they call themselves Jane. Or they might not dress quite like election officials expected James to look. Educating polling station staff in the diversity of 21st century Britain should do the trick, Chris. This was the final item I needed to write this week. So when I bumped into Sports Minister Tracy Crouch hurrying through Parliament, I asked her if there was anything interesting going on in her department. She said, "The only news I've got for you is that I'm just about to make a speech and I'm desperate for a pee. But you won't want to put that in your newspaper." The "You Staying to Work" campaign helps bosses look after terminally ill employees who choose to keep working, either because they need the money or because they welcome the distraction. Andrew Bridgen's vegetable processing firm in Leicester was first to sign up. Andrew is a Tory MP. Yes. You read that right. A Tory leading the way in workplace compassion. Labour's Dr. David Drew thinks cats should be microchipped. Farms Minister George Eustace also thinks so, though he's only making it compulsory for dogs. That's a bit catist, George. Perhaps the minister has been reading too much of George Orwell's Animal Farm, which proclaims, all animals are equal, but some animals are more equal than others. Labour MP Atterley wants the National Archives to keep private tweets by ministers. In 100 years will we really want to read what Michael Fallon did at mealtimes? On second thoughts, yes, we might.